Hey everyone, my name is Taylor Sparks. I'm the editor-in-chief of Integrating Materials in Manufacturing Innovation. And in today's paper, I'm going to be talking about one that comes from my own group here at the University of Utah. So quick disclaimer, obviously I never handle any of my group's own submissions. They're handled by guest editors. In this case, the guest editor was Jim Warren of NIST. So special thank you to Jim for handling that. I appreciate it. And this work comes from lead author Hassan Sayeed with contributions from Casey Clark, Trupti Mohanty, and myself. We call this paper KnowMat, right? KnowMat is our tool for agentic extraction of data from unstructured sources like PDFs from papers and turning those into structured sources of data. Now, the field of LLM-based extraction of information from literature is absolutely taking off. It's only been a couple of years, but we've seen huge leaps and strides. For example, only in 2014 was a paper from our own group where we were using structured prompts as a way to extract data from literature using Gemini Pro. Now that was a big step forward over single, zero-shot learning, but it still left some things to be desired. The performance wasn't good enough yet. We were still seeing that it would hallucinate, and it had no way of correcting those, and it had no way of forcing the output to be the exact same structure each time. And those are things that we're going to address in today's paper. Maybe to start with, I just want to point out that really materials data should not be a problem of too little. I love to show this plot. It's one that I collected from Scopus Keywords showing a bunch of different material science domains. And take a look at this, the number of publications on log scale on the y-axis versus time on linear scale. We see exponential growth in the number of publications. There's not too little data out there. There is too much. We just don't have a way of getting it out of the literature effectively. And as I've said before, the tools that we've tried to use have some serious problems. First, there's hallucination. Second, there is no validation or correction mechanism to go back and fix the things that were hallucinated. And third, there's this inconsistent schema. And in this paper, we're going to address some of those. One way that we're going to address the schema-enforced problem is through schema-enforced extraction via tool calling. This paper uses typed tool calling via TrustCall. It allows us to use tools like Pydantic so that the output from the LLM must emit a payload that validates against this model. In other words, you'd come up with a schema that you want it to adhere to, and it forces the output to match that schema. This is a big deal because it allows the outputs to not vary from extraction to extraction. They'll always follow the same format. But what about the hallucinations and the opportunity to fix those? There we have to change the architecture of the extraction altogether. We don't have to just go from the PDF to parsing it and then doing the extraction and hope that it got it right. We're going to add additional steps. We're going to add an extraction agent, yes, but we're going to follow that with an evaluator agent whose job it is to look at the extraction and ask, was it done correctly, potentially triggering multiple reruns. And then a manager is going to look at the output of potentially multiple different extractions and decide, what do I do with all this data? Some is clearly incorrect. How do I identify it? How do we do better? And then organize this into the final output. And finally, there's this flagging agent that we've implemented, which allows the user to get some sort of measure of confidence of the extraction. Is it something that a human should take a look at afterwards, or can we just trust it as is before it gets put into a JSON format and assembled into a database? So here in this paper, we used dockling to parse out the data. That allows us to get the text separated from the tables and the images. We actually sent those tables and images through a ChatGPT 5 call to turn those into HTML, which allows us to now have markdown versions of everything in the paper. Then comes the extraction, which again, we're using tool calling to force it to have the same schema every time. And then comes the evaluation, right? The evaluation agent has the really interesting job of comparing the extracted output with the actual snippet of text. And you can see maybe in some cases, the value was slightly off, or there was a condition that was missing. And the evaluation agent's job is to identify these and suggest potential fixes. This is important because these suggested corrections get sent back to the re-extraction, but this time with those corrections in place. So the prompt gets updated to have these specific criteria added to it, and it can do up to multiple extractions. So if you have multiple extractions, then you're going to have to ask which one was better, which one was worse. That's the manager agent's job, is to compare the original reference text with the results of the extraction and ask whether or not the corrections were made and what to do in the final aggregation of properties. And then finally, you have the flagging agent whose job it is to assign a score, right? If it noticed that during if multiple extractions had to take place And if hallucination happened in both times, right, then you can come up with a custom confidence score that the model can tell you as a human. And you could arbitrarily set what that is, right? Anything over 90 is okay. If it's less than 90% confidence, maybe you want to have a human take a look at it. This approach that we've built allows this to be tunable. You can decide what is considered something that would be a trigger for human extraction or verification. We are very excited about this. The results ultimately speak for themselves. Here you're seeing the percentage of the extraction performance, right, on precision, recall, and F1 score, and you see that we're able to achieve extremely high metrics compared to the zero shot or even the structured prompt learning that we did in the past, which was basically half of this. We are able to dramatically improve the accuracy of this call. Now it comes at a cost. You're doing multiple calls via API to some sort of language model. And the ones that we did in this paper were with OpenAI's ChatGPT-5, which is a more expensive one. But in some ways, you get what you pay for, and we're able to get really high performance. And you can see that when you compare that with the sort of baseline zero shot using ChatGPT-5 Nano. Far lower precision compared to if we use KnowMat to this agentic pipeline with multiple repeat calls and the opportunity to correct itself. What's my takeaway from this? I'm really excited about this because for the longest time we've said, material science and data-driven materials research has this data problem, and I've always felt like you don't need to have a data problem. It's just that we haven't had a tool for extracting it, and instead we've been asking authors to do the extraction and to organize their data themselves, and authors have been pretty reluctant and resistant to do that. And here we've built a tool that basically just does it for you, makes it very easy. So I'm really excited that this is a turning point for getting data out of papers. This does not address the big next challenge, which is getting it out of figures. But this is a great first start because a lot of data is present in the text. One thing I want to point out is everything we do is open source and available, so you can take a look at this on GitHub. You can follow along yourself. Here's the repository KnowMat 2, where it describes how to actually use this tool, and you can read all about it in the latest issue of IMMI.